Hey everybody, welcome to Workforce Gaming. I'm Brad, here with Doug.
Hey.
I have my Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
I played Mario Kart,
Mm-hmm.
so that means I guess I'm playing some GameCube games.
Yeah. I remember you got very excited when GameCube games were announced for
I
for NS.
am.
So I think because we watched like bits and pieces of that together, the announcement, and like when the Soulcalibur stuff came, you were like, holy shit. And I
Soul
think you're I
Calibur's the
think you're
one.
more excited for that than anything else for Switch 2, to be totally honest.
Maybe Donkey Kong. That may be the only other one that I even got. But yeah, Soul Calibur 2
Yeah.
is, in my mind, it's like that fighting game that kind of Tekken 3 was like great. And then like the
Hmm.
next great one in my mind was Soul Calibur 2 after Tekken 3. Like those are
Yes.
like there's
Yeah.
like weird points in my mind where it's like, okay, Mortal Kombat 3, amazing. Street Fighter
Hmm.
2 I sucked ass at, so that wasn't like one that like stuck out in my brain.
Sure.
Tekken 3, Soul Calibur 2. So it's like that's kind of like the next one up in my brain of like these are like the definitive fighting games to me as a child
A
growing up.
l- yes, a lot. I remember a lot of people talking about Soul Calibur 2 in high school. That was the big one because that was the or maybe not high. I guess it would have middle school,
Middle
but that
school.
was the one where like everybody had their GameCube, Xbox, and PlayStation 2, and then the discussion was which was the best uh,
Guest character.
additional character, and it was clearly Link.
Oh yeah,
As the person
it
who owned
was.
the PS2 Heihachi, it was not Heihachi.
This is one of the few games where like so I have a younger brother who's a couple years younger than me, and it was one of the few ones where like I had a PlayStation 2 and he technically like had the GameCube. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
funny.
the
Yeah, yeah.
PlayStation 2 is yours and the GameCube is like I like Tekken, but you get Link, so I'm definitely just going to buy this for the GameCube and the GameCube's gonna be mine for a couple weeks because
That's funny.
I want to play as Link. We'll start off with that. Link still fits into this game perfectly. Like
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of times with guest characters in fighting games, it's kind of like, oh, I get it. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, like, we're stretching this, but it works. But this for Link, it's like, no, everything about this is great. The sword and shield feel great. His move set matches so perfectly with Soul Calibur. Nothing feels out of place with it. Which, having
Yeah.
played at some point in my life, I don't remember when. I think I actually went back and rebought it. I was like, oh, Soul Calibur 2, I'll get it. And at the time, I didn't have access to a GameCube, so I bought the
Oh
PlayStation 1 with
no.
Hayashi. I was like, okay, like I don't know
Dude,
what it was about the GameCube version, but guys, the PS2 version isn't cutting it.
I remember as a kid being so mad it wasn't Dante. I was like, Dante would
Oh,
not be
Dante would have been
perfect. But
perfect.
in but in my
Not
mind,
perfect, close
Dante
enough.
was like, yeah. But it was funny because like Heihachi was just like fine, but he was like punching. I was like, why do you get a punching guy in this game? It like mechanically it was pretty cool, but it was still like
It just didn't
I just wanted
feel
Dante
right.
so bad. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. The other just kind of gameplay thing with this is I forget that like the GameCube had everything mapped to
Mhm.
the C stick. So you still have like
What?
so like if you move left or right, up or down on the C stick, it's like the like punch and kick combined button, the like those. So you can
Oh,
like just like
sure.
smash with like smash moves where you can like just twist tilt the stick to do moves. It's the same thing in this, which feels so out of place in like a
Oh, that's
competitive real fighting
crazy.
game.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
just such a weird, funny, goofy take on like just adding it in there that it's
Mhm.
just fun to do because it's like, oh yeah, I can just do my special move with a little whoop, flip that stick to the right, and there we go. Because they still have it all mapped that way.
Yeah, that's
Kind of
awesome. I love
forgot,
that.
kind of forgot how cool that is. Like not in a Smash game, just because obviously every other system for the most part is not having button combos mapped to a stick. So it's
There,
another
yeah.
specific thing to the GameCube version that I think worked so well and just feels so cool. Even though it kind of
Mm.
takes a little bit of the like technicalness out of it because it's just like blip 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 on the stick instead of actually having to do those things.
There was an interesting period in games where they're like people trying to figure out what to do with the right stick before everybody settled on camera.
Yeah.
Like I remember there's just like whole games where like the attack button was the right stick. And
Um,
it didn't really work out.
favorite one, Star Wars Obi-Wan was
It's
sold
so
as
funny. That
like
wasn't
you can
yeah.
get the lightsabers on the stick. Like as you're moving your lightsaber as a control stick. Like they're one and the same. The control you feel of the
So
lightsaber.
funny.
That's the one that always sticks out in my mind when I think of these things. It's like, oh man, that game was not that good.
Yeah. I
That was
think
a one and
there's like a
done.
Jet yeah, I think there's like a Jet Li game that had something similar. And I
Mhm.
think there was a Mark of Krieg was kind of did some stuff like that too. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
It
an
just
interesting time.
but again, it's one of those that's why I love like this NSO stuff, just because it is so much just like here's like some experiments, here's some things that worked, here's some
Yeah,
things that didn't. It doesn't feel like PlayStation Classics because I think because they put them all up for sale individually, I feel
yeah,
like there has to be like a quality level there that because Nintendo Switch
sure.
Online, you're just paying for all the shit whether you want it or not. It's like, well, we can slap
Yeah,
some
yeah,
stuff up there that just sucks and it's just kind of more of a time capsule piece, or
yeah,
even like an Atari 50 where it's like, okay, this game was shit. Everybody knew it was shit, but we're just going to show you it because it's kind of a cool part of the legacy and the history there. So that's kind
yeah,
of how I feel about some of this Nintendo Switch Online stuff, where it's just like, it's a cool piece of history to have this year. Not
yeah.
again, one of my favorite fighting games. So not Soul Calibur, but
Oh yeah, this is not one of the shitty ones.
this is one of the great ones and still is. So
How, the
um
one I'm really curious, how'd you feel with the adventure mode stuff? Because I remember loving the adventure
I
mode
love
stuff
it.
in this game. I love that too. It's so good. Man, unlockables are the best thing ever. I don't know the kids these days that they can't handle not they can't handle unlockables, but I love unlockable stuff in this game. These games are like amazing at it.
So quick side note, actually I thought playing Mario Kart World too, because every character has like 3 to 8 costumes. You're unlocking characters by
Yeah,
doing like a really random thing in that game to unlock your characters. I miss just like we hid some stuff. You got to work for it. It's not like Mario Kart. It's not like crazy what you have to do to get all the characters. You
hmm
just use a certain item a bunch. And then like in this, you go through adventure mode. It's like, well, you did a certain number of X challenges, you get some money, buy the stuff that you want, buy the costume, buy the sword. Or you're going through a dungeon and you took a left turn and up there's a sword up there. That's cool. Take the
yeah,
sword and take the costume, take the extra character. And as you go through, you get all those things. And it's just it makes me wish that more games would go back to that where it's just like just give me
yeah,
a really solid unlock pace. Like I don't need 16 currency every time I do
yeah,
something. Just every 4 fights, every 4 battles, every 4 levels, just give me a new character, give me a new skin, just
mhm,
give me something. Don't make me go to the store and buy it and do it because that just takes so much of the magic out of like
yeah,
you unlocked a new thing. You're like, oh, cool, what is it? Start next screen. Oh, it's a sword for Raphael. I don't play Raphael. Who gives a
yeah,
shit? Okay, next one. And it's like, oh, but here's Link's new outfit. Okay,
yeah,
cool. Like Link's new outfit. This is awesome. So the game, it's so cool again just to be able to experience those things because I feel like so much of that is taken away with this like
yeah,
microtransaction currencies, all the stuff, free to play really embraces all that. Where it's like these things you should just pop up and be like, here's something cool that you did. Congrats.
yeah.
And I like that. So
And
great
I
unlock
remember, I
pace
remember
in the
like really
adventure
going
mode for
for
sure.
yeah, I remember really trying to go for all the joke weapons because those the joke weapons were really fun. Like
Mm,
it's sometimes like I remember they just be like kayak paddles or something like that. Like I just remember like that was like my one of my favorite things was just like the getting the joke weapons for all those characters. It was I remember like playing that adventure mode so much because it also had like a lot of fun modifiers and stuff. I
yeah.
remember this one that was like if you fell to the ground, your character would explode.
Yep.
So like you kept like trying to knock characters up, they come to the ground, like, kaboom, and then fly like a store like
Hmm.
3 or 4 stories in the air. It's so cool.
Yeah, so just to kind of talk a little bit more about this adventure mode is it feels very much like something I feel like there's a weird time before like Injustice and Mortal Kombat hit that story mode so hard. I feel like
Yes,
maybe
yeah,
like 10 or 15 years ago, every game was like, okay, what can we do to like give you more of a single player experience more so than just like play through the arcade mode
yeah,
24 times. And like so Tekken did like their arcade thing and just there's all kinds of different ways the series did it. So this one again, like way back when, is doing this too, and it's a blank map, and you just go square to square, and each square has a different fight.
mhm,
The cool, but like you're saying, like they mix things up. So a couple ones like there's one where the floor is just icy, so you're just sliding around all the time.
yeah,
There's another one where your characters have gravity to each other, so they're constantly being pulled toward each other the entire time you're fighting.
mhm.
The one you mentioned where it's like the only damage you can do in that particular modifier is if your opponent hits a wall or hits a floor,
Oh,
and then
that's
that's the
yeah,
only
yeah,
damage they do, and then they explode up into the air.
mhm.
There's another one where it's like you can only damage them when they're in the air, and by the way, you're fighting in a tornado, so like any hit knocks them up into the air, so you have to do juggle combos to damage them. It's just
Yeah,
fun, goofy stuff like that that takes the game and just makes you want to play it over and over again, just because it's like, okay, this is just a fun twist on a fighting game that again doesn't take itself too seriously, which I like.
yeah.
I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like
it's a little silly, Billy.
I feel like later Soul Calibers because you get into like lots like customization options like crazy by the time you get to like 4 and 5
Yeah,
where it's just like pick every single little aspect. Here's your goofy glasses, here's your goofy hat, here's and this it's like
yeah,
we have the silliness and it's contained in a way that is fun without being this like giant expansive like again currency mode, buy the silly hat, buy the silly shirt, buy the silly stuff. It's just no, it's just all in
yeah,
here as a thing. the other weird thing with this is you actually have dungeons. Like some will be dungeons where it's literally like just a
Mhm.
string of boxes, and you go through one box, then it'll say, okay, left or right, and you pick it, and it just kind of makes this map through like this thing, and you just kind of fight your way through till you find the boss. And if you take a wrong turn, well, that's okay because like we were talking about with unlocks, there's just cool unlocks up there. Just everything about this game is so perfect. It is
Yeah.
easily one of my favorite fighting games ever. It's so good, and just the stuff that it does. We didn't talk much about the fighting other than the dumb stick. The fighting
I was
feels
actually just
great.
looking at our time. It was like 11 minutes in. I think we've actually talked about the fighting. There's some fighting game community guy who's listening to this going like, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Exactly, exactly. Like, we're not playing this at Evo, guys. Sorry,
No, absolutely
you're on the wrong.
not.
You're this far in. Just so you know, that's not.
Yeah, we're on
I
the wrong.
suck.
You're on the
I
wrong channel.
I suck ass at this game. I am not good at it at all.
Yeah. Who's your main, by the way? I was curious.
So I played a lot as Link, and then in
For
my
sure.
mind,
Yeah.
Cassandra was my main as a kid, and I don't remember why I
Yeah.
think that or why I felt that. And I think like
Yeah.
after like 2 or 3 hours, like she just kind of sucks. Like I think I just picked
That's
the wrong
funny.
character, and like I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe I didn't as a kid, maybe it was a different Soulcalibur, but in my mind I did that. So by the time I played, several hours as Link, and then like 2 or 3 hours into her, then I was just like, all right, screw it, I'm just gonna play with a few different characters, beat arcade mode,
Mhm.
be done with it. So
Yeah, yeah, that is fun. When you said, I remember I was talking, like you said Cassandra, like Cassandra. I didn't know anybody played Cassandra. The one though, because the one I played was Nightmare, which just I just thought was just like the coolest looking video game character
oh yeah, he's
ever.
awesome.
As a kid, it was just cool. I actually had a again, this is like old fogey stuff. Todd, do you remember like McFarlane Spawn toys?
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
So they had a Soulcalibur II series. So I
Oh,
had a Nightmare like then I put that next to my Matrix figures that were also from I was super into McFarlane figures like in high school and like I was so excited to get that one,
I feel like that
the
was like the
Nightmare
big
one.
like halfway to collectibles point where it's like they're not
Yes.
expensive enough to be like your $150 statues, but they're like you didn't buy this action figure at Walmart for $4.
No, exactly, exactly. It was like just, but yes. And now it's like and now I'm actually wondering, it's like, man, I could get some more McFarlane figures. I forgot, I haven't thought about him in forever, but I used to be really, really into him. But the other character I played it was Talim because I just thought she was like super fun to play.
Yes.
And then she kind of like disappeared from later. Like, I mean, she's like kind of came back and forth, but she was like one of those characters that was like not the main ones. So
Yep.
she kind of like disappeared. I remember like completely losing interest when she was not in it. Also, like the later game, could you had mentioned this? The later game costumes got like really weird and like super elaborate. And I was just like, I don't like this art style at all. There's a
Yeah.
simpleness to like Tekken 3 and Soul Calibur 2 art direction stuff where like
Yep.
they were not wearing, they look this like kind of cool costumes, not like, I don't know what the hell, like tapestries that they're wearing now in those
Yes.
respective games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's it's great. It's
it's
fantastic.
great. It's awesome. Yeah, it's fun.
It's my second game I ever played on the Switch too. Look at that. Who knows
Oh
what's
yeah, I
next?
forgot. This is a Switch 2 thing, isn't
GameCube
it?
games run good on Switch too. There you go.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
we are First Gaming. Subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment below. There's links to support us on Patreon as well. We'll see you later.